Hey y'all, hey, it is Aristan back with another video. I am so excited today because we are going to be talking to
Blake Parker.
Why is you giving your last name on the video?
Blake.
Blake. So we are going to be talking to Blake today, and she's going to be talking to us about adventures in France and why you shouldn't listen to your parents. So we are going to go ahead and get started. As I said, I have already introduced Blake. Blake is my daughter, and I'm so very proud of her, but we're not going to talk about that. She's going to talk a little bit about her experience. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to ask her a question. Blake, what led up to you dipping out, buying a one-way ticket, and going to France?
So basically I've always wanted to travel ever since I was young. Like it was a really big dream of mine. And my life at the time, like I was taking a break from school. I was just going through a lot and I was just like, I'm sad right now, but would I rather be sad in Ohio or would I rather be sad somewhere in Europe? So actually my journey started when I moved to Prague, actually. I bought a one-way ticket to Prague, and that's where I first moved. Then I got sick, had to come back to the U.S. for a little bit, and then COVID started, and then I moved to France, and now I study there, and I live, and I teach English. So yeah, it was just a matter of like where I wanted to be sat at the time.
Wow, that's phenomenal. So, talk to them about, before we talk about why they should not be afraid to get up and make that big leap, tell them about some of the negativity that you encountered while doing this and how did you handle it?
All right. So basically, I received negativity from everyone. I mean, literally everybody was telling me not to go, don't go, Blake, you're gonna get kidnapped. Like, what are you trying to leave for? You can just go to school in Ohio at Kent State. They have like your major, which they didn't have. They were just like everybody was. I think somebody said rip up her passport. Like I don't know.
Not rip up
They
her
were they
passport.
were just going crazy. Everybody was telling me like literally, no, you're not going. Don't go. Don't go. Don't go.
How did that make you feel?
Oh, terrible.
Did it make you change your mind?
No, I was not listening to them. I have a very important thing to say. I don't listen to any. Okay, it's good to listen to people sometimes, but when it's stuff like this, nobody else is living your life for you. You're the only one who has to live your life. So if you don't want to do something or you want to do something, you should do it because they're not they're if you're miserable, they're not the ones who are gonna be miserable for you. You're gonna be the one that's miserable. I didn't care what nobody was saying. Yeah, it kind of annoyed me that they were being so negative because it's like, why is that the first thing that you're saying when I'm telling you something? But at the same time, it's just like I don't care. It didn't really faze me that much. Like it hurt my feelings, but it didn't hurt my feelings enough to the point where I listened. I was not listening to them. So I don't recommend. If you want to go, then go because nobody else is. I'm just saying, nobody else is able to.
So, is it safe to say that this probably is one of the best decisions that you've ever made?
120,000% yes. Best decision I've ever made in my entire life.
Wow.
And if I could go back and do everything over, starting from high school, like even if it included getting a full scholarship to a college, so I didn't have to take the break in the first place, I still wouldn't do it. I would do it the exact same. It's been tremendous for my growth, for my self esteem, just for me as a person, and I've had some like invaluable experiences that I wouldn't have had if I had listened to everybody else. So I am extremely, extremely glad that I did not listen and that I had the tenacity and the grit to be able to do this on my own.
Wow. I think that's awesome because you started off at the University of Kentucky and it just
Yeah.
wasn't what it
It was
was.
no, that's not it. I was planning on studying abroad regardless, but it was just too expensive, and I hadn't gotten any scholarships. Although I did have really good grades, the scholarships just weren't coming through. So I had to take like a semester off so my parents could pay my bill, and the bill never got paid, and I was just like, well, I'm kind of just like floating, so I'm not gonna float here. I'm gonna float in Prague. So I was floating in Prague and I had a great time.
I remember that. Hmm. So, as her mother, when all of this was transpiring, like I was happy. I was one of her biggest supporters. And I'm like, you know what? Whatever you want to do, I'm fine with it. Just go. Because I knew some of the challenges that she was up against here. And I didn't want her to have to experience anything. And so I felt that this will make this young lady happy. And if it makes her happy, then I'm going to support her 100%. Her dad didn't want her to go, her grandmother didn't want her to go, and everybody just had so much to say. But we even got to a point to I told her, I said, just stop answering the phone. And if I need to talk to anybody, I'll talk to them and they won't say anything else. Because you can't allow other people to dampen the decisions that you make. Okay, because people think that they know what's best for you, but really what they're doing is they're projecting their fears onto you. The fact that they can't do it and they're not comfortable, they're projecting that onto you as if you cannot do it. And so you have to be able to recognize those kinds of people. And a lot of the people that were talking, they kind of just been in the US. They really haven't gone abroad. They haven't had that experience. And so they don't really know. They're just speaking from a sheltered point of view. And so I was extremely proud of her for doing it. And I just looked forward to like hearing all the stories and listening to her speak. Tell them what you speak.
I speak French and English and a little bit of Russian.
And a little bit of Czech.
I can say a couple of things in Czech, but not anything crazy. Yeah.
So look at that. So this girl decided that she was out of here. She was checking out. And she just left and she studied and look at what's going on. So now all of these different experiences, what is the plan for today? Like what are you doing right now? Where are you currently living at and all that stuff?
Okay, so currently, well, I've spent the past year in Toulouse, France, in the south of France. And I'm studying at the Institute of Political Studies, so Sciences Po. And it's a really, really, really good school. Like, they have different campuses all over France. But it's like a big deal to be at one of these schools. And so I did like a year program for a diplôme universitaire. And it's basically like a 1 year program for international relations and like political studies, politics, and then it like goes on my resume, and it also counts as the third year of my university. So I did that, so I have the diploma from that, and then I will be transferring to Aix-Marseille University, which is in Aix-en-Provence, which is further south, closer to like the French Riviera, and so that'll be my last year of my undergrad, and then I'll go on to hopefully get a master's from Sciences Po if I get in, but I'll apply like everywhere. So yes, that's the plan as of right now.
That is great. I am so excited. And I didn't know about that diploma program. Yeah. So I've learned something new because I didn't know. So she'll just fill me in on what she did and then we'll talk about it later. So tell them about all of the awesome people, the beautiful places,
Oh my gosh.
how to be, well, we'll answer the how to be cautious and stuff next. Go ahead and tell them about that.
Okay. I have met so many people because I was in this 1 year program. I met a lot of exchange students. So the same way we have study abroad in the U.S. In other countries, it's called Erasmus, like in other European countries. And so basically, you can choose another country to study for either to study in for either a semester or a full year. So all of my friends were doing Erasmus. So I met people from Switzerland, from England, from Mexico, from Italy, from France, just literally all over the world. I met people. Yeah, it was really really cool. It's amazing getting to meet like that's the thing like my like from Turkey, like Greece, like you get to see everyone's different cultures. You learn something new. We would have like nights where we would all cook something from our country, like a traditional meal. It was just really really fun, really 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 fun experience. And it's really easy to travel. Once you're in Europe, the travel is pretty cheap. So we did because of the COVID times, we couldn't really go out of the country, but we traveled a bunch around France, and it was really really nice. Getting to see like the beaches and the different architecture styles depending upon where you were at in France, whether you were in the south, in the east, in the west. Like it varies greatly. So that was really exciting to get to see too.
Okay, so one of the questions that I'm dying to ask is okay, I understand our American culture, I understand that culture, and you and I have conversed many a times about the cultural differences. And of course, most countries don't like Americans. So now that you've lived over there, can you understand why those countries don't like Americans and maybe like educate us on that.
It's not that they don't like Americans. That's misinformation. I feel like that's a common misconception that everybody just thinks, oh, everybody hates Americans. It's not that they hate us. It's just that okay, so the fact that we even say Americans and we're referring to specifically people from the US, like technically we're all, there's three countries in North America: Canada, the US, and Mexico. But whenever we say Americans, we're always just referring to ourselves. And that just shows how selfish we can be sometimes. We live in our own little world, and that's the problem. It's like nothing else exists outside of the US. And that's the problem. We're not aware about most of them, most people, because I'm aware. But most Americans are not aware about other countries, and they don't care about different cultures and about anything that really goes on outside of the US. And it shows when you travel, like just like a little bit of ignorance about certain issues and about like random little things. So it's not necessarily they don't hate Americans, it's just that they kind of think we're stupid sometimes,
Oh
which
my
is
gosh.
true.
Are you serious?
Yes, it is.
But no, but that's really good because people need to know that. Like people need to understand that. Okay.
But I wasn't like, nobody met me and was like, ugh, American. Like nobody does that. That's literally like, if you're a good person, then you will be liked by people. If you're a bad person, you won't be liked by people. Like that's just, it's just how it goes. Like nobody rules you out because you're from America. Like they just, the conversations come up. And yes, we get made fun of a lot because a lot of Americans are stupid. So that
Wow.
is something that happens all the time.
So what is the craziest thing that's happened while you were there?
Craziest thing?
Yeah. Are you having crazy things?
Oh, no.
No. Nothing crazy?
See?
You had to have something that was like, yo, that was the craziest thing that's happened. No. How about the guy with the string ties? Is that crazy? No.
The string?
On your wrist, tie
No,
your
that
wrist.
wasn't crazy. That was just mean. That guy was a jerk.
Oh.
No, I guess it's just standard stuff that happens everywhere. Honestly, like when I went to Paris for my birthday. Going to Paris is literally like going to New York. Like you just see crackheads in the metro, and you get chased. And I got chased by some couple of different crackheads. So yeah, that happened.
Are you freaking kidding me? Hold, please. Now, the all-time question is, should you listen to your parents? And be honest. Honestly. Because they need to know. And the reason why they need to know, because I know that some of you want to get up and take that big leap. And it's very, very important. How old are you?
I just turned 23 last month.
Okay. So we have to live our life to the fullest, as they say, the best version of ourselves. And sometimes your environment will not cater to that. They won't be able to help you grow, get you to that next level. So there are some things that parents may not recognize, correct?
Mhm.
And we need to be sensitive to that. And you, as the young adult child, you had to make a decision that you felt was best for you, right? So tell us the things that you took into consideration when your parents were talking versus the things you just said, I'm just not going to do it.
So yeah. So basically, one thing that I had to take into consideration is that I kind of needed to have some sort of a plan. Well, I should have taken that into consideration, but I didn't. Kind of just went. And for me, it was okay because I have a pretty good support system. Even though they all were like, no, 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 like nobody like completely left me hanging. So that's something to keep in mind because I mean, like at first, for the first couple of months, I kind of was left hanging. But like after that, then it was like, okay, I see that you're doing good. So like, I'm going to help you out. That type of thing. So that's one thing to keep in mind. Um, it just depends on what type of person you are because like I'm a planner, but I'm not so much of a planner. Because I find recently that nothing really goes according to plan. You can try to plan for everything, but you can't plan for everything. It's not possible. So I kind of just was like, all right, well, I'm just gonna do what I feel like doing when I feel like doing it, and see what happens. So that part, maybe you could listen if they're telling you to like, plan things, but if they're just telling you straight up not to go, then don't listen to that. That's not something you listen to.
Okay.
So I would say that you listen to your parents sometimes. Certain things they know better, and certain things you have to just know. You have to figure out on your own. Even if they do know better about it, sometimes it's a lesson you just have to learn on your own.
Well, I think that's very good advice. I like that. So I hope that you guys like really listened and understood because I think this is just so important. And it's not just for young adults, but it's for, our age too, because there are certain opportunities, there are certain things that we want to do in life. Maybe you want to relocate, but you are fearful of that because you don't know how things are going to work out, if you're going to be accepted. Then you have the finances, the support, and all of those things. But you shouldn't allow that to hold you back from pursuing your passions, your dreams, your goals. And so, if you listen to her, she said that's the best decision that she's ever made. Did she have a plan? She had a little bit of a plan. Now, what she wasn't expected is some of the things that arose she wasn't expecting that. But like she said, like you can plan all you want in life and everything doesn't necessarily go according to plan. And it has some of the stuff has nothing to do with money. It just has to do with circumstances. And so, I did this because I want to encourage first and foremost young people because they are the ones that are up and coming. These are our leaders. These are people who are going to be in control. And if you have a lot of people, young people scared to live, scared to come out of their shell, scared to be the person that they know that they were called to be, then that's just going to put a damper on things. And, we're suppressing our young leaders. She said that she wanted to be a diplomat. I mean, to me, that's huge, but if we would have shut that down and like demanded that she stays and made all these excuses and made it hard, then look, she could potentially save the world. And I know that she may not save the whole world, but she's definitely going to do her part. And so we can't suppress those things in our young people because we don't know what they're going to be or what they're going to do. And the same with you. You can't suppress who you are, who you want to be, who you desire to be. You have to nurture that and you have to allow it to grow. And if that means selling all your stuff and picking up and relocating without a solid plan, do it. Just do it. I encourage you to because you're going to be happier. You're going to be healthier. And, depending on what God wants for you, you don't know what he has for you. In that different city, it may be something great. It may be something not so great. We don't know, but you have to take risks. Success is all about taking risks. You're going to win some, you're going to lose some, but does that mean that you don't even try because you think you're going to lose? You don't know. Chances are you are going to experience a little bit of loss. Chances are you are going to be great at whatever it is and you're going to prosper in that thing, but you'll never know if you don't take that leap. So I just want to thank you so much for coming and talking. She's here visiting, right?
Yes.
For a couple of weeks. And so we are just like having fun and hanging out. And so it's like really, really cool with us. But I'm just so excited. Are you gonna yodel for us while we're on here?
No.
You want to yodel?
No.
She can yodel.
I'm not doing that.
Why?
No. Yeah. No.
Okay, you speak in French? Say something. Bonjour.
Bonjour.
No, say something else.
Comment ça va?
That's something like a greeting, right?
It's hi, how are you?
Okay. Say something in Russian.
Здравствуйте, меня зовут Blake. Я изучала русский язык в университете в штате Kentucky.
Oh, that's nice. You said your name and where you go and where you're from.
Well, where I studied Russian. I said я изучала.
Nice. Okay, you remember anything in Czech? Give you a check.
Добрый день, як се máš?
Oh, that's so pretty.
Yes. Naschledanou. Díky.